Welcome to Pro Bull Talk, where it's all talk and no bull. Get ready to slide and ride.
All right, let's go, boys. Hustle. Come on now. Let's go. Woo. Lay down now. Go to him.
Hey guys, we're back here in the studio again today. We've got a great lineup for you, great episode coming. But before we get to that, go to our sponsors, man. BTO, Bull Teams Only, and Dennis Davis Bucking Bulls. Go to them and like as always, like their page, follow it, but drop a comment in there and tell them, say, hey, we heard from y'all on Pro Bull Talk. Let them know that y'all are listening to us, and as always, you know, you got to like and follow us as well right here at Pro Bull Talk. But me and Briar today, we've got a pretty hot guest here. We've been trying to get him on for a bit, and I tell you what, I didn't get to rodeo with him much, but man, it seems like it's probably a good thing we didn't rodeo together, because we probably would have got in trouble and had way too much fun and stuff. But we've got 2002 PRCA World Champion Bull Rider Cody Hancock himself. Cody, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good, man. Hey, just out of 2000.
It was 2000?
Yeah, a long time ago, but no big deal,
No
man.
kidding, 2000.
I thought it was 01.
We looked it up. I guess the internet's got it wrong, because we was talking about it, and I was like, he was right around there early 2000s somewhere, and Briar looked it up and it said 02.
No, I don't know where it says that, because you know me, as you found out today, I don't really know how to look up anything up. But.
That's true. All right, so 2000, the year after I won a world title in '99 in the PBR,
Yep.
Cody Hancock comes back in 2000 and kicks their butt, goes from 15th to 1st, by the way. That's unprecedented. I don't think that ever been done, had it?
Alan Bach did it in the team roping, but it's never been done in the bull riding, Cody.
Never been done in the bull riding. Well, tell me, so we know you're the 2000. Now we know you. We knew you was a world champion, but now we know you're the 2000 PRCA world champ. Where did that come from, and where did that start? Where did you start?
Where did I start everything from?
Yeah, where did you start getting on and start riding, and how did you get into rodeo?
You know, my dad always rode bulls when I was little. He never was professional or anything, but I mean, he'd go to just open shows and stuff like that. We had a big family, and he worked a lot, you know. But ever since I was 5 or 6 years old, that's all I've ever wanted to be, was a bull rider and a world champion. And just started getting on calves and steers and going to every junior and high school rodeo I could go to. And then I went to college at the College of Southern Idaho for Sean Davis, and then kind of went pro from there, you know.
Yeah. What year did you turn pro?
I turned pro, I think in '98.
In '98. And was 2000 the first year you made the finals, or did you?
Yes, sir. In '99, I finished 16th. I missed it by $84.
Wow. $84.
Yeah, it was $80-something. So if you think about that, Cody, so 1/100th of a second, any place that year, I'd have made the NFR, you know?
Yeah. Or if you just spurred one more,
And,
just one more chop before the whistle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anything.
Or not end up upside down.
Yeah.
And whatever finals you're trying to get to, you know, that's your ultimate goal. And the NFR always was my, ultimate goal. So at the time, I thought that was the hardest damn thing in the world. But I think it was good for me. And I came back the next year, and come November, I'm at exactly the same damn place. And but I flew to like a rodeo in Florida and a rodeo in Michigan, and won them both. And I made it. You know, I can't remember how much I made it by, but not much.
Wow. Yeah, that extra kick at the end always helps. Yeah.
Last second.
So you.
Well, I always had a. Sorry to interrupt you.
You good?
I always
Go
had
ahead.
a wife and some kids, and so my goal was to rodeo as least as possible, so I could stay home and see my kids. You know, so
Yes,
it didn't
sir.
pan out for
Yes,
me.
sir.
Sometimes, as you can see, when I missed the finals by $80 or shit like that, but being home to me was really important, to be with my kids.
Yeah, it was me too. And and honestly, that's why I didn't pro rodeo as much as I did, because I only went like a year and a half or two. I went PBR because I could stay home all week and then just rodeo on, go to the bull ridings on the weekend. So I completely understand what you're saying there, rodeoing wise. So you made it to your first NFR in 15th and won the world the first time you was there. And how you rode? What, 7, 8 at the finals?
I rode 7.
Seven.
I rode 7 that year. I won 3 rounds. I came in, and it's a pretty cool story. So the first night I get there, you know, you're at your first NFR. Well, the NFR, they go in reverse order you made it. So since I was 15th, I got to be a first out.
Yeah.
And that year they put the rank bulls out first, the first round. I think now they do it the second round or third. But anyway, first night the rank pins out. So my first night I got bucking bull of the year, Skulls Border Patrol. And I got to be first out. I'm 15th, you know, I'm scared to death. And I got lucky, and I was 93 on. I was 93 points on Border Patrol, and that was the highest marked ride of the NFR that year. The very first guy, you know.
Yeah, wow.
Night. And then the next night I was 90, so I won 2 rounds in a row at my first.
You
first
hot,
NFR
hot, just hotter than a damn pistol right there off the bat.
Just it was good. And then I came back and I think won the 7th round, and it was kind of over after I did that, you know.
Yeah. Well. What was it like going to your first NFR? Because I never made the NFR. I didn't go enough. But what was it like? Did you go to the back number ceremony and would lead and get, you know, because I know you go to rodeos all year, and when you get to the finals, there's a lot more need for you. You get pulled in more directions and things. Did that change much for you?
You know, they do, and they do want a lot of you. You know, a lot more stuff you got going on. I don't know. It was unbelievable experience. I dreamed about going to NFR my whole life. I dreamed about being a world champion my whole life. And to be able to go there and then come out spanking them, you know, the first, and just get on a roll, and everybody wondering who the hell this dumbass is from Arizona, you know, and it was cool. So
yeah. So you rode your first 2, so you got that out. You got the monkey off you back there. Then did you make a whistle in the 3rd round?
No, I got bucked off in my 3rd one, and then I can't remember the exact order, but I know I bucked off my 3rd one because
Well, you got that monkey off your back too. Then you wasn't afraid to buck off at the finals either. You know it wasn't into the world. So you rode 2, and then bucked off one, and then. You was wide open roping.
They was paying about 30. I'd won 30,000 or so at that point, and you know, it was good. Holy shit! I just bucked off one. You know, after thinking they couldn't throw you off the very best bucking bull year, the first one, and so you get back to thinking about the basics, keep your hand shut. You know.
Yeah, put you right back in check, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
That's the great thing about bull riding, right? Is you can be the best one day and buck off a dink the next day. It's so humbling.
The most humbling sport in the world, ain't it?
Yeah, it is humbling as hell, isn't it? I mean, you can be, you know, they say it's chicken one day and feathers the next. Well, it really, really is.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
and I think, Cody, being what we do is whoever can control their mind going through that is going to be your winner, you know?
Yes. You know, I was telling somebody the other day, you know, a bull rider lives in his own mind. If he can control his own mind, he controls his confidence. He controls everything about him, controls his emotions, everything. And that a bull rider lives in his own mind. You got to control all that, or you're just not going to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's talked about, there's books written about it, but nobody in this world understands the mind and how powerful it is like bull riders do.
Yeah. I mean, because you have to believe that you're going to ride this animal, that this 15 to 1,800 pound bull, you're fixing to dominate him. And you got to believe and know, you got to know that you're going to do it. And if there's any doubt, that bull's going to expose that thought.
And not only believe that, but also be willing to take the shot. Like, say he's feeling like he's going to drop you on his head, but you know if you just give into it, he'll pop you right back up. Be willing to take that shot to sit up and continue riding him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you make your first NFR, you ride your first 2, you buck off one, you get through the finals. You won the average, obviously, right?
No, I didn't actually win the
Wow.
average. I won second average. Phil Pelkins won the average that year.
Philip won the average that year.
Yeah. He rode. I think he rode 8. He rode one more bull than me.
I got you. So you went second in average,
cool,
and
we went quite a bit together that year. So it was
that's awesome.
Really cool that he did.
Yeah.
How many more finals did you make after that year?
How many did I
total
did
qualifications?
I make? Total.
I went to 7 NFRs.
Wow.
7.
That's a good number.
I finished in the top 20 3 other times. So missed one by $80, but I was in the top 20 3 other times. So
You're pretty daggone consistent. Yeah. Yeah. 7 times. That's a lot of NFRs. That's above your normal.
Like you said earlier, without going to a whole lot of them.
Yeah. Okay. Here's something else. So what was the limit? The limit rodeos you could go to, the max rodeos you could go to in 2000. Do you remember?
Was it 125?
And how many did you go to?
That first year, I think I went to. That first year trying to make it, I think I went to like 95 or so.
95, yeah. And what was the least amount you made it on?
I went, come a few, I'd go to like 40 or 50.
Wow. Because I'd heard Tuff and Jim and them say a couple times that they after they made it a couple times and they didn't have to go, they would go to 40. I think the minimum now you've got to go to 40, I think. But I think at some time one of them made it in like somebody, I don't remember who it was, said they made it in 26 or something.
Yeah, but those guys.
The rules have changed. Well, the rules have changed since then too. Now you have to go to a minimum of 40.
I think the way it is, Cody, is you have to go to either 40 or 50 for your extreme bull money to count.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Because Sage ran into that problem.
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't want your bull riding money, you could go to 5 rodeos if it makes it. But like I said, if you got a bunch of extreme bull money, for that to count, you got to go to. It's either 40 or 50. I can't remember.
I got you, man. There's a lot of logistics in the PRCA that you've got to kind of navigate.
Oh, a shitload, and it's way better now. I mean, when we were going, they'd put you up for 3 or 4 rodeos the same day, lots of times, and I mean, it's just so much easier and better now.
Really? Yeah, because
yeah, they're like, I remember one 4th of July, me and Jason McLean, who I traveled with about 10 years, I think we had 8 rodeos in 3 days, the way they put us up.
Good
wow.
Lord.
And if you didn't go to them, you got turnouts and all that.
4 of those. What's
yeah.
that, Cody?
Yeah, and if you don't go to all of them, if you can only go to 4 of them, you got to pay turnout fines and entry fees for the other 4, don't you?
Oh yeah, we're still paying. I mean, we were still a couple thousand in the hole before we even started because we knew we couldn't make all those rodeos,
Yeah. But you've got to kind of do that. You've kind of got to enter that many rodeos, and you kind of pick and choose where you want to go, right? Because it's not necessarily logistically that you couldn't make the 4 or 5, but you would say, all right, I'm gonna enter these 8 rodeos, but I'm gonna find out when the draw comes out and go get on the best bulls. Would that happen?
I know guys that did that a bunch, and like I said, with the family and everything, it was a lot of money. I never entered like that, Cody. I just entered what I thought I could go to, and when I'm saying that's putting preference, say the 4th of July, the biggest road, the biggest busiest weekend of the year, and there's you're entering all those rodeos, and that's just the PRCA putting you on top of each other,
Yeah.
But like I said, all that is way better now, and you can trade, and they take Waka and all kinds of stuff that's way better now.
Okay.
But it used to be a big deal about being doubled up on rodeos,
Yeah.
I mean, there's 50 guys asking for Saturday night at Cody, only 15 get it, so there's 35 that's got to go somewhere else they didn't ask for,
Right. And now when you would enter, say you would, because I've heard guys talk, you not only had to know where to enter, but when to enter, when that stock contractor was going to have the good ones out, or maybe and I don't even know who I just say Joe Blow stock contractor. He's got his good pen will be out on a Friday or out on Saturday, and you don't want to go Thursday because he don't really have his good ones out.
Yep. Well,
Was there some of that going on?
Sammy Andrews always had really good bulls, and he would go to Austin and these places, and we would talk to Sammy, say at Crockett, earlier in the year, say, hey, when are you going to San Antonio? And when are you going to these places?
I got you.
That's damn sure what days would enter for.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to aim for. Is a lot of these young guys they don't know how to go about that entering and when to enter and how to enter and where's the best places to go, because it's not like you can just call up and go, hey, enter me Friday here, enter me Saturday there, I'm going. And you go there and you don't know who's got the bulls or what bulls are going to be out, when you could have entered opposite of that and had better bulls at both places. There's a lot. What I'm getting at is I guess there's a lot more that goes into it than just calling in and entering.
Oh, there is a whole bunch more. I mean, so much into it. Like you said, trying to figure that out, trying to figure out, your runs. Mm-hmm. So that if you're buying a flight, you can hit 3 others down there, so you can get 4 rodeos or whatever with one plane ticket. There's just so much to going down the road besides getting on bulls.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole concept that I was kind of going at there was, because Briar's fixing to go. He's probably fixing to get his permit when he turns 18. He's going to OSU, signed with the rodeo team there, but he's still going to pro rodeo, try to get his qualifications up. But I was trying to kind of aim it at him, kind of get his mind wrapped around kind of how you enter some of that stuff and the rhyme to reason as to why you do, because, a lot of guys out there, they don't know that there's a lot more to winning that gold buckle in the PRCA than just nodding your head and making the whistle. There's a lot of behind the scenes.
And too, like you just said, Briar going, and him just starting out, there's a lot of rodeos, him wanting to go, him trying to make runs, that they're not going to let him in.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's just so much to it,
Yeah. I think it's best if he stays on his permit the first year, or maybe stay on his permit, get his qualifications up, and then that second year make a run.
Yeah, for sure.
You think that's the best way to, I mean, is that the
sure? Then you can start out getting into the good rodeos you want to, and be where you need to be. So yeah, I definitely don't get in a hurry. You stay on that permit for a year, and then go win Rookie of the Year the next year, and go to the finals.
Yeah.
Oh, you can stay rookie even if you was a permit holder the year before?
No. So your rookie is your first year buying your card.
Okay.
There you go, Briar.
Sorry if I didn't make that clear the way I said it to you guys.
No, it's just the conversation me and my dad had a while back was wondering, because some of these guys we know, they've had their permit for 3 years, and then all of a sudden they buy their card and they're rookie. We didn't know how that shaked out officially or not.
And you can do that. I mean, as long as you want to, I guess. I don't know. I filled mine, and then the next year bought my card, So, But, yeah, your rookie year is the year you buy your card, so.
Yeah, when I bought mine, I entered my first pro rodeo was Lawton, Oklahoma. And I rode one, or actually I got a re-ride, and then I got on another one. I wound up winning third there, and that was just after they changed the minimum. You had to win, because you used to have to win 2,500, and then they dropped it back to just 1,000. And shit, I think I won 1,300 up there, filled my permit on my first one, and hey, I called that next Monday and just went ahead and bought my card and just started entering, and because I was going with JW and KJ Pletcher and Lonnie Steverson and a bunch of them guys, and and back then they had a buddy system too. If your buddy was qualified and you entered with them, you could get in. So I got into like San Antonio and Fort Worth's permit anyway, but I got into some of the bigger ones just because on the buddy system. But
well, I do believe they still have that buddy system.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they do or not. Like I was telling you, any advice for Briar that I could give, and I don't know, you might have some too. get with somebody, one of the older guys, and travel. Get in his van and travel and learn the rodeo logistics, the behind the scenes, entering and when, where, and don't, and why, and learn that side of it from somebody that's the business side of it, from a guy that's been there and did that.
Oh, 100%. He could tell you all that. I mean, I don't remember them all, but all the, say if you have a doctor's release and sometimes you can only take a 3-day, you want to just take a weekend off to get healed, there's a 10-day, to get all that down, it'll save you a bunch of money. And, yeah, it'll for sure get you, on the right track from the start. And, like I said, just the money that it'll save you is worth doing that. Who cares if you got to drive all night because it's an old guy and he's taking advantage of it? It's worth it,
Yeah. Well, him being a rookie, he's gonna have to drive. Yeah, he's gonna have to learn to drive pretty well, isn't he? How many miles y'all put on y'all's vehicle a year?
About 50. About
50,000 miles. Yeah.
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 See, I told I don't know what it's called. Are you in Oklahoma or Texas, Cody?
We're filming in Oklahoma right now.
I don't know what. I was talking about your driver's license. It's called the DMV here.
Yeah.
And I told them, when I kept getting my license suspended for so many tickets, and I'd tell them, if a normal person only goes, 20,000 miles a year, I should be able to get 3 or 4 tickets a year because I'm doing 50 to 60, 1,000 miles on my vehicle.
Yeah.
He does have a pretty good point there.
That is a good point.
They didn't agree with me.
So. Yeah. No, I bet they didn't. Yeah. So who all did you travel with? I know you traveled with you said Jason McLean and Philip Elkins, and who's some other traveling buddies?
When I started out, I went to school in at the College of Southern Idaho in Twin Falls, Idaho, and there was a tough, old, kind of grumpy guy. We called him Jeff Rupert, who actually rode really, really good. He didn't go a lot. I mean, I seen him ride. He won OMAC one night on Yellow Jacket. I mean, in the Yellow Jacket, the original one.
Yeah.
And he rode really good. I started with him, and then Jason jumped in with me, and me and him were to the end from my first year always. And then that first winter though, we did. I was with Buskin Wilson a bunch that winter,
Buskin,
and we stayed with Philip and Rodeo down out of his house all winter. And then, but Jason was always with me. And then the last of my career, the last few years, Dave Samsel decided he wanted to rodeo instead of PBR and came over, and he traveled with me and Jason. So
yeah, Super Dave, we had him on the podcast back when we first started this thing, and he is a handful, I'm telling you.
And Mr. Dave Samsel did have a question for me to ask you, by the way. He told me to ask.
Do we need to do this off? Do we need to do this off the record?
No.
He told me to ask you about the stripper.
Oh, about his?
Yeah.
He didn't necessarily say his.
Oh, I told your dad about that yesterday. Text him. First time I meet Dave Samsel, there's this guy walking down. There's a bull riding. There's this guy walking down the thing, and I've never met Dave. But then he gets close, and I know who he is. I've watched TV a little bit, and I see his Dave, and this girl's got triple D's, and I was with Jason McLean, and I just turned to him and told him, see, we should have tried that PBR, you get girls like that, But that was him. I mean, that was him for a few years. After that, it seemed like he always had one. So that's the story.
Everywhere I ever ran into Dave, and he always had some kind of arm candy on his arm. And we was always taking bets, because Dave's not the prettiest guy in the world. He's not the tallest. He don't fit anything. You would never see him on the cover of GQ magazine or anything like that. I'm not saying the boy's ugly or nothing, but he's just not that model type. And We was taking bets at one time if he was paying them to go with him just to show up, you know. And I'm
not. I don't know because, like I said, he didn't start traveling with me till later on in his career, and I don't know. He quit showing up with those girls when he started traveling with me.
I'll be dang. Yeah, he said there might be a little glitter somewhere.
Well, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
So I hear a rumor that your 01 finals was pretty good.
Do what now?
I said I heard a rumor that your 01 finals was pretty good.
01 NFR?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know what? That was a really good round. You know what? I was reserve world champion that year to Bluestone, and Bluestone went to CSI with me, and he was one of my best friends. But I drew a bull called Mr. USA, and in June of that year, I drew Mr. USA at a kind of a bigger deal that they had at the MGM Grand. And I didn't know what the bull was. That's the first time I'd seen him at that deal at the MGM Grand. I'd been hearing about this little cab that Gilbert's had that was, pretty special.
Steve Cindy,
yeah. And I'd been hearing about this book, but I'd never seen him. And I drew him the Final Four round of that MGM deal, that tour finale they called him back then. And I was 94 on him there. And 5 months later in December, I draw him again. And what's more to the story than a lot of people know, my wife at the time, at the NFR, you can find out the night before what bull you got.
Yeah.
And lots of times I look, sometimes I won't. I'm not that much. These kids today study their bulls so much, and I didn't do that too much. I pretty much just showed up and got on. But I usually at the NFR I'd look, what I had. But when I went to leave Sunday to go to the Thomas and Mack, she asked me, "What do you got drawn?" And I said, "You know what? I forgot to look, but I dreamed about Mr. USA last night, so I bet I got him." and then I showed up to Thomas Mack, and I did have him. And what's even cooler about that story, if you know Donnie Gay, and I've talked to him about when he set the record in 1974 on Red One. He dreamed about Red One the night before.
Wow.
And, Donnie told me that later, I hadn't even told him that I dreamed, and Donnie told me that. And it was just kind of, like crazy the way things, stars line up or however you want to explain it, and got lucky and was 96 points on him. And I
don't know about luck.
You
don't luck out and be 96.
Yeah, that's a pretty good bull ride.
I mean, you can luck out and make the whistle and be 72 or something, but you just don't luck out and be 96.
I do. Let me finish. I was 96 at the arena record, which is still the arena record there for the the NFR.
Yep.
I drew that bull the next June again at the tour finale, and I was 94 on him. And then I drew him the last time they took that bull to the finals. They probably shouldn't have took him. You're so famous like that bull was. They let him go one too longer, and I was only like 81 or 2 on him.
Yeah.
But no matter what, you know how it is, Cody. You're riding those bulls, and lots of times you got him. I mean, it's just everything. I mean, there ain't no doubt in my. But him, every second it was just a going at him going at me. Every time I rode him 4 times, I got him rode each time I drew him, but every time it was just you got off thinking, holy shit, somehow I did it again because it was nip and tuck from the whole time,
Yeah,
that's the way it felt anyway.
Yeah, man, he was wild and sling his head and whip around there, and he'd kick one round and not kick another and jump forward and then jump backwards almost. I mean, yeah, I could see that you was just lucky to be hanging on the next jump.
No, that's the way it felt the whole time. And it never, like I said, all 4, I mean, I thought the same thing when I got off. Holy hell, I can't believe I got it done again, So.
Well, how close did he come to hitting you? Because I know one time he pulled you down on his head pretty good, didn't he?
You know what? The first time I drew him, at the MGM, he split me open. I had like 30 stitches the first time.
I was gonna say, I thought you had a scar on your cheek or something.
Yeah, which I've been hitting that same spot. I mean, lots of times I'd have stitches on top of stitches, you know. So I've been hit. Everybody asked, where did that happen? I said, I don't know. You want me to name all 10 places? Because I got a pretty good. It's kind of all mixed in now. It just looks like kind of one now, but it actually was about 10 or more that you know that did it. I had like 22 or 3 concussions, and so like I said, sometimes I got out over them too much, and lots of times it was after the whistle, so it didn't matter. But they still made me pay.
Yeah. So you had kind of a big year this year, though. This year, you was inducted into the Bull Riders Hall of Fame.
You know, I did, and that was really cool. That was just really cool. Just even, I mean, let me go back. When I was a kid, we didn't have TV. We just had TV. We didn't have cable, whatever you call it. So we had TV to get movies. You know, we had one bull riding video. It was from like 75 to 80 bull rides. So I grew up watching Donnie Gay, Glenn McElvain, all these guys. And to be inducted with Glenn, and it was just a really, really fun, great day.
You know, you talking about that video of 70 to 80 bull rides. That wasn't made by Glenn McElvain, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was like, I can't even remember it, but we watched it so many times when I was little. That's the only video we had, and it was like the bull riding from 75 to 80, I think it was. Yeah. And anyway, so I grew up. Those were my heroes, you know, and to be able to be inducted with him was really cool. And then just, I mean, Tandy Freeman that year. I mean, the guy who's probably helped more cowboys than anybody alive. I mean, everything about that year. Pacific Bell. Dan, you know, rest in peace. I mean, me and Linda are still friends. We still talk. And the first time I go to Reno out of college, everybody talked about this mean and grumpy old bastard Dan Ruffler, you know. And I get there, the first night, and I'm 93 points and win the first round. And hell, me and Dan were friends every day of our life, you know. And like I said, just everything about that day with Pacific Bell being in there, Tandy Freeman, I mean, Shorty Gorman, who saved my butt so many times. It was just a really special day. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, and I'm glad that you're in the hall. You dang well deserve it.
Sir.
And but you know, that video that you was talking about that you watched when you was a kid, I had a similar video like that, and it came from Glenn McElvain.
Oh, really? I have no idea, Cody.
He had made some. He'd put music to a bunch of the old NFR bull rides. There was a bunch of bull rides from probably the early '80s, like at the NFR when they had it in Oklahoma City, and then the first 2 or 3 years they had it in Vegas, and he had it mixed to music like John Mellencamp, Hurt So Good, and Dancing in the Dark, and some movies or some songs like that. And man, I tell you what, me and JW wore that damn thing out. And in fact, we had to get another one from him, and it wasn't as good. So we took the original one and had it put on DVD. Or retake and put it on DVD to keep it. And then we wore it smooth out. We don't have it no more. But it was about an hour and a half long, and I mean, it was nothing but solid bull riding. I'm talking, it had Glenn riding, I think it was D105, had Glenn riding D105, Dale Hall's 105, the black white face muley, and then had him riding Red Rocker. Had Lane on there. Lane was Lane rode Dave 02, and Tough rode Rocky Top, or got bucked off of Rocky Top one year. Had Joe Wimberly on Cowtown. I mean, And it showed Lane getting wrecked out on Mr. T. I mean, there was some. It showed Cody Lambert getting wrecked out on Mr. T too. I mean, it was just plumb full, boy. And I mean, you just watched, my eyes was glued to the TV, boy. And it had that good hopping music. Oh, you talk about to make the hair stand up on your neck. Now, you wanted to be a bull rider.
Yep.
Yeah. But we'd got that video right down the road from us. We had a jackpot right down the road from us, and Tuff and them, every now and then when they would come through, Tuff and Glenn and them come through, they would come down there and enter that jackpot. And it was always on a Sunday. And Glenn happened to be there one day and had that tape, had a bunch of them tapes, and we bought one. I wished I'd have bought the whole damn box, but
yeah.
But so you rodeoed with Dave a little bit, and you got any cool rodeo stories?
Any cool rodeo stories?
Yeah, just cool rodeo stories. Ain't got to be nothing bad, or it can be bad. We don't care.
Here's a pretty good story. So I was at Clovis, California, once, and they had extreme bulls like on Thursday, and then I was up on the Friday, and then that'd be a short round. But I rode my bull at Thursday night at the bull riding, and got off like I usually do, and he ran over the top of me and just stepped on a little piece of my ear's missing now, and stepped on my arm, broke a little bone in my arm, but I was gonna take it 7 day, or I can't even remember, it's called 7 or 10 day, and go home. But the next day I had a really good bull, and I can't even remember what they call him, but high 80s that they ride a lot. So I stayed, and I was 88 points on him, and come short round time, out of all the bulls there, the one I didn't want was ugly, and of course that's who I got it.
Yep, that's the way it goes
in the short round of kisses, ugly, and so like I said, he stepped on my hair, and anyway, and I rode ugly over there, and won Clovis over there. I've won it a couple times, but won Clovis, that year. But I don't know. There's lots of just good times, and going down the road, and just like you're talking about that video and that music, and it's that way every day for us,
Yeah.
I mean, living your dream and getting to go somewhere new, which I loved every day, and
you live like a rock star.
Yeah. 100%.
Sometimes a broke ass rock star, but
it didn't care. We still lived exactly the same.
Yep.
One year when it was about when I was done and I flew to Texas. Dave picked me up and we were going to bull riding at Lufkin, and there was like 4 or 5 of those young kids, like were 20, 21. And Dave, we stop on the way. Dave's got to have some crawfish, and I mean, we're just easing down Lufkin. We're, like I said, this last year we're going, we don't really care if we make it or not, and these kids keep looking at their watches, and Dave keeps telling them, we'll be fine. And finally you get to Lufkin about 7:50 or 6:50, starts at 7, and of course I'm in the first section after him moseying along all day, and he's in the last section, so he's got an hour and a half already. He's got to get on. I'm in the first section. I think I was 88 points. Dave came and he was like 90 or 91, and all those kids bucked off, and man, we rubbed it into them. So we told you, just settle down, and we'll make it. But
yeah. So what was you went to all them rodeos and stuff. What's one of the biggest rodeos you ever won? Your favorite rodeo you won?
Well, I won Houston in 2006, and Houston was, I don't know if it still is or what, but at that time was the biggest rodeo besides the NFR. I won second at it 2005. I won it in 2006, and I won second at it in 2007. So I loved Houston. I won lots of money there for lots of times, and I don't know. San Antonio was always good. There's just so many roads. I love going to Florida. In February you can go to Kissimmee and Okeechobee.
Yeah.
And just so many rodeos, little rodeos too that I love. Cortez, Colorado. I think I won it 3 times, and That's where Jason McLean was from, so we used to call it McLean Days, and we'd go up there for about 3 days during it. But
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever do any good at Calgary?
You know what? I didn't go much Calgary. I went a couple times, but the one time I won the top 8 round, and kind of like you, I won the top 8 round, but he split me open. They were giving me 20 or 30 stitches, and it's fast. After the top 8, then it goes to 4, so you only got like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes before the next book. So they're in stitching my up. My dad actually flew up there with me, and so my dad got my rope and everything. I mean, they're stitching me up, or putting like 5 in to hold it kind of shut while I get on the top 4. And then we all bucked off in the top 4, had to get on again, and then a good buddy of mine, Scott Schiffner, who I call Shipbreak, but he won it. I think he won it 3 or 4 times, but I think that was the first time he won it. But anyway, I won the top 8, and we all bucked off in the 4, and had to get on another one. And I bucked off the second one.
I got you. Do you like the tournaments, that format they have up there, that kind of the tournament style?
They had some tour finales and stuff like that, and I actually really did like it. I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I won 4 tour finales, and I don't think anyone, I mean, they don't have them anymore. I don't think anyone in any event won 4 of them. And I don't know, I really loved, I mean, you go to those places, there's only top 10 or 12 guys, and, I mean, really, really good bulls. The draw's out of the question. Just show up and keep your hands shut, and you're going to win some money, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You go to, like, Cheyenne? You ever win the Big Daddy?
I never did win the Daddy. I made the short round 6 times, and they never threw me off in the short round, but just didn't ever have good enough bulls to ever win the Daddy. I was 91 or 2 one year in the short round, and Steve Woolsey had War Dance and rode War Dance to win the short round. Yeah, like I said, I made the short round quite a few times up there, and they never threw me off in the short round, but I just didn't have enough in those first 2 rounds, you know?
Yeah. Now, what do you think?
And at that time, sorry, Cody, at that time, it was a big drawing contest. I think they took 180 guys to Cheyenne.
Well, wasn't it
I think now they...
Wasn't it a permit rodeo at one time? Permits could get in it?
You know, I didn't go to it on my permit. I didn't go to it so I ain't for sure, Cody, but they used to take, I'm pretty sure, like 180 guys, 3 sections of bulls. You know, there was 45 bulls out a day. I mean, it was the biggest drawing contest rodeo ever, you know, at that time. Now I think they only take 80, and it's way different. It's a lot better rodeo, you know.
Isn't it tournament style now, Briar?
Yeah.
All your big rodeos are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're different ways, but they're all that way, yeah. I got a question,
though. They do have quite a bit different of those, don't they, Briar, of the way they're doing them.
Yeah, because Houston...
Almost San Antonio, all those, Houston and Switch.
Yeah, Houston does the tournament style, but it's like money won, and Cheyenne's like points. Like, if Pool A, if he's 91 points out of that pool or whatever, he can move on to the next semifinal. It's all different done, but so out of the whole year, if like, what is your like grand slam to win? Like the big rodeos, what is the grand slam to win, if there is one to win?
The grand slam for you, basically, I think is what he's asking.
Yeah.
Say the big 3?
Yeah, the big 3.
What would be the big 3 to you?
Well, I don't know. I just said Houston. Like I said, I don't know if it's still the same, but when I was rodeoing, that was the biggest regular season rodeo. So there's Houston, would I always go in there. And then it's kind of a toss-up between probably San Antonio and, I mean, there's Pendleton, which at that time wasn't even quite paying as much as, say, a few of those I'm saying, but it's just such an old, an old-fashioned rodeo, and it just, you know, just everything about it was just kind of old-fashioned. I loved it. And Texas Highway's Fort Worth. I mean, it's just a cool to go down there in the winter and have all those big rodeos. One year, the year I won Houston, there's Extreme Bulls at. Let me tell this story. So I go to the Extreme Bulls at Rapid City, the very first one of the year. I'm the only guy to ride 3 bulls up there. I win Rapid City Extreme, fly from there to Okeechobee. And they had a big Extreme. But that final one at Rapid City, bull ran over top of me. I had a broken collarbone. So 3 days later, I'm at Okeechobee's Extreme, and they're taping my collarbone straight down. And I had a super good bull, my first one, I'm 88. And the only I split first and second in the first round. And you know how those bull rides, they got the draw already drawn for the bull, so you know what place you come in, what bull you have. Well, since I split first and second, there was 1 or 2. One was Cooper. I don't know if you remember him. They sold him. He came from Hal Burns. They sold him right after that to somebody in the PBR, and I can't remember who he went to. But anyway, it was him and Bloxy Blues. And Bloxy Blues was a bull the year before, but I'd already rode him twice before, so I definitely. And Cooper had never been ridden, and I got a broken collarbone from 3 days ago, and but of course I drew Cooper, and I got Cooper Road, and I win Okeechobee Extreme. Go straight from there to Houston. Houston was at that time was 3 rounds in a short round. I win the first round, place third or second in the second round, riding my third bull. Fly from Houston to Buckeye. I win Buckeye, fly back, and riding my my short round bull at Houston. I'm only guy out of I think they took in 60 or 70 then. I'm only guy out of 60 or 70 to ride all 4 bulls, and won Houston and San Antonio. I was entered the same day, but Houston's was a kind of a day per. Austin. Austin was at night, so I went Houston to go to Austin, and I was 88 points that night at Austin. And then I had a few days off, or 4 or 5 days. I flew home, and I drew Chili. You probably remember him at Thomas Taylor's in the short round at Austin. And I win Austin. So that was about a 15-day run there, winning all that.
Dadgum. That was a good run. That almost made you qualifications for the finals then.
Yeah, pretty much. Just that 15 days,
Yeah. So you said Houston, probably San Antonio. What was your other big 3?
Right, Pendleton. There's Salinas, too. I mean,
there's Salinas, there's Denver, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Cowtown.
And I never won Kansas City. I won second at it the very first time I went. And it was just unbelievable because all of a sudden, my very first time I go to Kansas City, I went second at it, and all of a sudden I'm up in the stand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's the first of the year. Yeah, you're like, wow, I'm in the standings. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it just made everything so much easier, because you can get in everything you want to.
Yeah, true.
That's crazy, though, that you said that Houston used to be three rounds in a short when it now takes like 2 weeks to do it all.
Well, it would still run 2 weeks back then, but...
Oh, it used to be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd run a long ways, but they changed the format because it used to be... I mean, you might be in riding Houston and on your first one week, come back a week later, get on your second one, come back the third week for the short round. Whereas now, I don't know how it works now. I ain't paid much attention, but I know JW won Houston one year, the pro rodeo, and he had rode 2 and then rode Werewolf of Guidry's in the short round. So it was pretty much 2 long, or a long round and then a progressive round and a short round.
Yeah.
Well, I know they put together like different pools. So one pool rides one day, like they give them like 3 days, and I think there's 2 rounds in the first round, like the first part of it. I guess you call it the quarterfinal, and then they move on to the semifinals, and you get 1 bull through there.
Yeah, Cheyenne does it different. Houston does it different. Pendleton Calgary, they've all got their own little magic dust they sprinkle on it to make it their own, I guess. But
Yeah, I guess.
tell me one rodeo that you went to that you wanted to win and try to win. You every year you wanted to go. You wanted to just, this is the rodeo. I want to win this rodeo. I want this one. I want this notch in my belt.
And never got? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, and never got.
Salinas.
Yep, that's a big one.
I think Salinas is the prettiest buckle there is.
Yeah, it is pretty daggum nice.
Besides the gold buckle?
Yeah.
Nah, nothing compares to that.
Buckle, but that's special. But the Salinas buckle is just such a pretty cool buckle.
Yeah.
I mean, not the gold buckle, but.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's bled into me. I got to be a smart aleck. I apologize.
So how hard you party in 2000 after the 10th round?
You know what? 100% honesty, I didn't party a lick after that.
Really?
I had my family and kids, and I didn't party at all.
You didn't go out for at least a big steak dinner or nothing?
You know what? We might have had. You know, they feed you at the big deal. You know, that year. Now they have it the next day. That year they had it that night.
Yeah.
The same night as the 10th round, and so they had a big dinner for us at the thing that they gave everything to you and everything. So, and then we drove home the next day. So it was pretty, and I had a 1-year-old, not even a year old. She was born in August of the year I won it. So I had a little girl, and she was everything to me.
Yep.
What was your reaction when they gave you the gold buckle and then come back later that night and say, hey, we need this back so we can put your name on it?
Yeah, I damn sure didn't want to give it back.
That seems like the general consensus, because I had the same reaction, and I didn't even give mine back. I said I'll send it off and get my name on it. But they everybody I've talked to that's got a gold buckle said they didn't want to give it back unless they've already won one or two. They're like, oh yeah, take that, it'll be all right. But that first one, you don't want to give it up, do you?
No.
Well, Cody, I tell you what, it has been a blast visiting with you, and I'm sorry I couldn't make it down there to your Hall of Fame induction. I was really looking forward to that, but you know how sometimes life gets to us and something else comes up and we can't make it. But I wanted to congratulate you on all your accolades and everything you did and records and everything you set, and you go buckle, of course. But the Hall of Fame means as much to me now as my go buckle does. So, congratulations, and man, I tell you what, we've enjoyed this little bullshit session here, and I know the viewers will too. So, I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I
You're
just
good.
say the reason why I love the Hall of Fame deal that I just went is because I got included with guys like you that rode so rank, Cody. And you didn't have to be a PRCA, whatever. They just nominated the people who they thought deserved it, who were good bull riders, I feel. And to be included with guys like you, who didn't rodeo, who I always have looked up to my whole life, that's what really meant a lot to me, Cody.
Well, man, I appreciate it. And that's the thing about the Hall of Fame, that the Bull Riding Hall of Fame down there, is the only people that vote are the people that's in there.
Yep.
That they're already in there. So you're voting for people you want in the deal with you, that you think are worthy of that. And I tell you what, you was head and shoulders above being there. I'm glad you're there, and you earned your spot. And I can't wait to take bulls down there in a couple of weeks and go in there and look at your picture and stuff in the hall myself.
Thanks, sir. You guys have a good day, and Briar, good luck to you. And if you ever get this way, look me up. You always got a place to stay. All right.
Yes, sir. I appreciate
You got
that.
it, man.
I will do that.
You got it, man. And hey, you guys out there with Pro Bull Talk, hey, go to Bull Teams Only. Get on their site, like, follow, comment, tell them you heard it from us. Dennis Davis Bucking Bulls, you want the Bucking Bull business, there's no better man to help get you in there. Give him a like and follow us also, and tell him that we said hello and we sent you that away. Until next time, man, from me, Briar, and Cocker himself, Mr. Cody Hancock, we'll see you next time.
You guys have a good night.
All right, man. See ya.